Dictator Joe Biden and his administration have banned the incandescent light bulb in the United States of America. I'm David with Americans for Limited Government. Let's jump into this first story. The Trump administration had ended the ban on incandescent light bulbs in 2019, but the Biden administration had reinstated it. This has had consumers rushing to stockpile incandescent bulbs. This ban on incandescent bulbs, it seems to be a broader push to limit dishwashers, limit hot water heaters, limit portable gas generators, or straight up ban them. It's part of that great reset, controlling things only with electricity, and it seems like it's just part of a position to increase human misery. The light bulb, the incandescent light bulb specifically, is one of the greatest inventions of humankind. Incandescent bulbs have been favored by many for their warm light, not the blue light that makes you stay awake at night, and also their aesthetic appeal. It was originally the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2017 that called out the incandescent bulbs for the watts they use. There's no scientific basis for this ban. The metrics like lumen per watt do not consider the quality of light, the cost, or the environmental impact. Fluorescent light bulbs have mercury in them, and you even have a gentleman who was he's a fellow of the Illuminating Engineering Society of North America and the brains behind the refurbishment of the Statue of Liberty in the 1980s. Branston argued that the government's metric of lumens per watts was completely bogus. As previously mentioned, it doesn't consider the quality of light for a room. It doesn't consider the cost of making replacements or environmental danger of more efficient bulbs. And it doesn't consider the whole reason we have light bulbs to begin with, to light up a space. It focuses on one narrow point at the expense of all these broader considerations. And really what this is people that make these environmentally friendly products, when the government makes policies that promotes or regulates competition, they're getting kickbacks, the government officials that make these policies. Now, are these formal and illegal kickbacks? Perhaps not. But when these politicians are giving green policies, I guarantee you something is going on where they're getting some compensation somehow for making these policies. And this is a broader issue, right? The Biden administration likes to think that the executive branch has the power of the legislative branch. It does not. Let's take a look at the United States Constitution. Maybe the Biden administration should look at it as well. It's the very first section, the legislative powers. All legislative powers herein shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, not the executive branch, not Joe Biden's White House, the People's House, Congress, Senate, and a House of Representatives. They should go back and read this. But a federal appeals court declared a U.S. regulation on pistol braces likely illegal. Just another example of the Biden administration thinking that they can rule by executive orders and administrative rules. They can't. The court found that the rule was finalized without proper public comment. The ruling did not immediately block enforcement of the rule, sending the case back to a district judge. Several preliminary orders have already blocked enforcement of the rule, but only for specific groups and jurisdictions. The lawsuit challenging the rule was brought by the Firearms Policy Coalition. Pistol braces were first marketed to stabilize pistols for disabled individuals, many veterans, disabled veterans. The disputed rule classified some guns with pistol braces as short barrel rifles subject to special regulation and registration. Here we are again, the court saying, hey, you're the executive branch. This is unconstitutional. Have Congress pass a law. Trying to act like a dictator. And, here we go again with, I'm going to jump to this story first. Next is water heaters. The Department of Energy has proposed energy efficient standards for water heaters. The proposed standards will require to use the heat pump technology for electric water heaters and condensing technology for gas-fired water heaters. Critics argue that these mandates will increase costs for consumers, decrease performance, and not actually save energy. It's like they want us to be miserable having cold showers, dishwashers that don't wash dishes, and all these super inefficient appliances. They save energy because you use them. One round doesn't accomplish anything. Then you got to use them multiple times, so they don't actually save energy. Congressman Thomas Massey has stated that consumers should have the freedom to choose whether the upfront cost of a heat pump water heater is worth the long-term savings. He also points out that heat pump water heaters may not make sense in the northern climates as they extract heat from the surrounding air, causing furnaces to work harder. Government regulations on product design have become a common issue. Executive branch, often resulting in less effective and more expensive products. Unchecked agency power and the lack of meaningful oversight by elected representatives contribute to the problem. That's a lack of meaningful oversight by Congress. There needs to be more oversight and action taken, not just oversight, but action taken to say, hey, you're the executive branch, chill out. You don't get to make all these wide rules. And I have a feeling more of these cases are going to go to the Supreme Court. I don't know if the light bulb, incandescent light bulb, will. I mean, as important as it is, I think it is. It should. I believe it should. High Court says agency overstepped its authority in restricting greenhouse gas emissions and a ramification for other regulators. That's subheadline. Supreme Court puts brakes on EPA and far-reaching decision. So this here is just an example of the Supreme Court recognizing that the executive branch, it's not made for kings. People called Trump a dictator. Take a look at how many executive orders Trump signed versus Biden. Take a look at the nature of the executive orders. For goodness sake, we've already had the student loans overturned by the Supreme Court. We've had the Supreme Court say the EPA can't regulate coal plants. We've had the Supreme Court say you can't force small employers, medium-sized employers, to force their employees to get jabs. The Supreme Court just keeps overturning Biden rules because he's trying to do the work of the executive. It's ridiculous. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, comment, share, follow, subscribe. It helps our channel grow. We'll be back with more soon. I'm David with Americans for Limited Government.